What's going on, guys? I'm your host, Beau. Welcome back to Movie Stalkers, and today we're here to do a spoilers review for Kong Skull Island. If you've not seen Kong Skull Island, what the heck are you doing? This is a spoilers review. We're about to spoil Kong Skull Island. Go watch the movie and then come back here for our spoilers review. If you don't care about spoilers, then hi. But let's get down for the spoilers review. So, before we get to talk about, the post-credit scene, which is something that everybody's talking about, I'm going to mainly start off with just the movie itself and talk about, things that I liked and stuff that I noticed. So, the first thing that I immediately noticed in the film is that this is not the traditional King Kong movie, and I think that all of you noticed it as well. Through the advertisement of the film, you can tell that this is a very different King Kong movie, and according to the film, this is an origin story of King Kong. Basically, how he came about, why he's on the island, and you also learn that this is not the final form of King Kong, because they say in the movie that this is like the young adult version of King Kong. He still needs time to grow into full King Kong size. So, yeah, this is not his full final form, basically. So, that was pretty interesting. I actually am pretty glad they addressed that, because, we have the King Kong versus Godzilla movie coming out, and seeing how big King Kong was in this film, and seeing Godzilla in 2014, kind of an uneven match. So, I'm glad they said that King Kong still needs time to grow and develop, so I'm glad that they addressed that. I'm also very shocked that they actually added some background for King Kong himself. They actually threw in King Kong's parents in the mix. They said that King Kong's parents actually existed at one point in the movie, and they died due to one of these skull crawlers, and apparently they just died from one of the skull crawlers. That was something I was very curious about. I'm like, man, the King Kong's himself is very strong. So I was thinking, his parents couldn't defeat those skull crawler things. I guess not. But yeah, very, very interesting. I didn't expect a lot of background for King Kong himself. I thought we were just gonna see him fight, the humans and all that stuff. I didn't expect they were gonna get a lot of character development for King Kong, but we actually got some pretty decent character development for King Kong himself. So, pretty interesting. And the other thing that I also saw was pretty good character development for was John C. Reilly's character. And I did state in my non-spoiler review that I didn't really know how to feel about his performance in the film, but in terms of character development, he gets the most character development in the film, because he's apparently been on the island for 25 years. He knows about how the island works from north to east to west to south. He knows the place on the back of his hand, and he knows these Indian tribe people in the island, and of course he knows King Kong. He worships him as a god. So, and he also explains that why these skull crawlers are on the island and how they came about. So basically, when the military came in and they dropped bombs on the island, that apparently triggered the skull crawlers to come right out of hibernation, because before there just probably just be one skull crawler running around. Now that the bomb went off, it triggered a bunch of them to come out, and because of that, King Kong now has to fight multiple ones at once. And according to the movie, King Kong can take on the little ones, but he can't really take on the big one, as they say in the movie. And of course, the big one shows up at the end, and I gotta say, that fight was pretty cool. The big skull crawler versus King Kong. I thought that was a pretty cool fight. It's very well done. I got a lot of Pacific Rim feels from that battle scene, because especially when he brings out the stick and he just boom, hits the skull crawler in the face. I got a lot of Pacific Rim feels from watching that battle. The other battle that I really liked was the King Kong versus helicopters. Of course, the classic King Kong fighting helicopters or planes type of scene. It was pretty cool. He just at one point just punches one of them out of the air, and I like that he just goes like this on one of the helicopters. He just goes mayhem on those helicopters. It was a pretty cool scene. So really, really enjoyed the fight scenes. Really enjoyed the skull crawlers. Really enjoyed background for King Kong. And the other thing that I also really enjoyed was Samuel L. Jackson. I really liked his performance. He's just being Samuel L. Jackson. He's kind of cool at times. He brings out the lines. He's very when he just talks, it's fun. He just like says like at points he's just being nice to the character, to the main cast, and then at some points he's just being ruthless. He's just being a guy who just wants to defeat King Kong. Because throughout the entire movie, the whole purpose for Samuel L. Jackson's character is to be like the bad guy, I guess, for in terms of the human cast. Because Samuel L. Jackson's character wants to take out King Kong, and the reason why is because he wants to make up for what happened in the World Wars, because of what happened of them losing one of the wars. He wants vengeance. He wants redemption. He wants to do all that, and the only way to redeem himself is to defeat King Kong. So, and of course, you know, King Kong can't be defeated so easily, and because that, Samuel Jackson dies. And not only Samuel Jackson dies, Samuel Jackson dies, John Goodman dies, and Toby Kebbell dies. So 3 characters died in this film. Very, very interesting. Didn't expect that many characters to die. Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston, and John C. Reilly survived, but and the other characters survived. Jean Jahan survived as well. That's another thing. Jean Jahan didn't get a lot of screen time in this movie. We all know she was in The Great Wall, obviously, but she didn't get a lot of screen time in this film. She was just a little bit there and there, but not a whole lot for Jean Jahan. A little unfortunate, but hey, what can you do? I mean, when you get Tom Hiddleston, John Goodman, and Samuel Jackson in the same movie, you know they're going to get the most screen time, and Brie Larson, of course. But yeah, Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, and John C. Reilly's characters survive, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's talk about now the post-credit scene. This is the scene that I want to talk about the most. Yeah, we got to see Monarch again. Monarch appeared in the Godzilla film in 2014, and now they make another appearance in Kong Skull Island, because Jean Jahan's character and these other characters right beside her are apparently scientists from Monarch. And Monarch is a facility where they hunt down monsters. It's kind of like the Jaegers, kind of, but it's actually just a bunch of humans. And what happens is that Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson are taken to this laboratory, or like this holding cell type of thing, and Jean Jahan's character comes out, and also the other characters who work for Monarch come and tell them that, you know, King Kong's not the only king. He's not the only monster. And what they show, of course, you guys know what I'm going at, they show cave paintings of Godzilla. And I knew Godzilla was going to make an appearance at the end, but not only does Godzilla make an appearance, oh no, Godzilla's not the only one who makes an appearance. We also got to see cave paintings for Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. I flipped out when I saw these cave paintings, because I know these monsters. I know who King Ghidorah is. I know who Rodan is. I know who Mothra is. And there were, surprisingly, people who were in my theater actually knew who these monsters were too. Everybody flipped out. Literally the whole theater just went, oh, when we saw the cave paintings. And it was just really, really nice to see those cave paintings. And it gives us a clue of what Godzilla 2 is going to possibly be. And of course, the last scene, the post-credit scene, you see Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. And it was awesome. Because if you guys don't know, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah is one of the most memorable monster battles I've ever seen. And I think that that's what we're going to see in Godzilla 2, and I hope that is the case. And the last bit, when the post-credit scene ends, you get to see or hear Godzilla roar. And yeah, I am more than excited now for Godzilla 2. I guess this confirms that we're going to get Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah in Godzilla 2. I am super excited for Godzilla 2. We get Pacific Rim 2 in 2018, and then Godzilla 2 on 2019. I'm looking very, very forward to this monster universe as it keeps going through. And yeah, overall, guys, my feelings for Kong Skull Island are still the same. I still give it an 8 out of 10, an 80%. It's still worth seeing, especially for that post-credit scene, and for the action alone is really, really nice. And some characters are actually decent characters, like John C. Reilly and Samuel Jackson's characters are good characters. Everyone else is mediocre, but overall, guys, I still recommend watching Kong Skull Island, especially in 3D. And yeah, that's it for my spoilers review for Kong Skull Island. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know, are you guys hyped for Godzilla 2, King Kong vs. Godzilla, or Pacific Rim 2? And also let me know, who do you think is going to win in the fight, King Kong or Godzilla? Let me know, Team Kong or Team Godzilla. And that's it for my spoilers review for Kong Skull Island. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, as we end these videos, Beau out. See you next time. Peace.